So the Innocence Conference is the annual conference. Like every industry in the world now has a conference, and Innocence is no different. In this case, it's international, so it's innocence projects, innocence organizations from around the U.S. predominantly, but now the UK and a number of Central American countries, and there's a whole bunch happening sort of everywhere all of a sudden. And so people kind of come together, and it's mostly for the innocence professionals who are sort of in the trenches getting people out to really talk about the successes they've had. The thing I'm also really impressed about at the Innocence Conference is we are all encouraged to talk about the failures that we've had. The directors of the Innocence projects, the Innocence organizations, all sit down, and you kind of go around and tell one of your successes that year, but you're very much encouraged to say what didn't go well and why. And I love that, because that's what we're trying to tell prosecutors and detectives. It's okay if you made a misjudgment. It's okay. Let's say it, and let's look at why that happened, and maybe we can all learn from that. So that's one of the things the directors do, but the amazing thing is that all of a sudden you have 100 or more exonerees in one place. Like, the energy that comes from 100 or more people who have the emotional tenacity to believe in themselves when no one else did, and now they're out and they're all trying to shape their lives, and they sort of come together, and it is remarkable. Like, if allowed, I would just sit in a corner and just watch the whole thing. But it's also a great time now for like the students to experience the exonerees and spend time with them. And this past year, the Innocence Conference was sort of bursting with new organizations that were opening up, and publicists who wanted to help, and so they came, and they're going to start doing some pro bono work. So all of a sudden, people are looking at it really creatively. People who wouldn't have thought they would have been able to help are starting to, kind of get into this movement. And the Innocence Conference is really that sort of hub where it all comes together.
Very overwhelming and very powerful at the same time. Meeting people who have been men and women who have served time for crimes they didn't commit, from 35 years and 30 years and 20-something years. It's a powerful, powerful moment in time for everyone to come together to share stories and experiences and heartaches and hard times. It's eye-opening when you see how many people have actually gone through something similar as yourself. It's also humbling, and it makes the passion to want to help increase even more when you see the faces. So I'm always happy and excited to be a part of those every year.
It was emotional. I ain't never experienced nothing like that. I didn't tell you the truth. I didn't know that many of us. I was shocked.
Yes, it is. It's been awesome. It's like unbelievable, because you got people around you where they know what happened to you and you know your circumstance. So it's been real good.
For my brother, it's been very emotional. Just to see that there are so many other people that went through what you experienced, and that the amount of time. So at one point you may have thought that you were the only one. To know that, wait a minute, there's 60, 70, 100 people in the same room that went through what I went through, that even did more time than I, 30 years, 35 years, or what have you. And so it's not even a question of time. If you did a week for a crime you didn't commit, again, the deprivation of your liberty is just too powerful. So there was a lot of instances where he was in workshops that he became teary-eyed and emotional, because as he stated to me, it was just a bit overwhelming emotionally, just to feel that and to know that all of this has occurred and what they have done to us as a group of people, with this particular group of exonerees.
That was really eye-opener, because there are 56 different innocent projects across the country, and there are some in foreign countries now. And we have a yearly meeting, or they organized by Innocence Project in New York, and I attended that last year in Portland, Oregon. It was phenomenal to see about 150 people who are exonerated from across the state on one single stage. It's truly remarkable to hear this individual story, how they were incarcerated, wrongfully convicted. Yeah, it's really eye-opener, and it's, as a volunteer for a project, it shows you that your efforts do make a difference. You know, it does bring freedom to someone who really deserves that.
I guess it kind of started that I was talking to my mom and just explain the conference to her. She's like, "Oh, bring back a souvenir from Portland." And so when I was thinking about it, I'm like, okay, well, I don't really know what I want to bring back. And I'm like, well, I was looking at the pictures and I'm saying, how do I explain how many exonerees were here? Because the pictures from my angle just didn't do it justice. And so I'm like, well, signatures, that's, just kind of like an autograph book, kind of like a yearbook of the conference. And so I'm trying to go around and get as many people as I can. I think of like 27 now. So didn't even make a dent, and it already looks really, it just, you see it. They're different people, they're different signatures. Some people wrote things, other people just wanted to sign it. And so it was great. And then that kind of opened up a chance for me to meet exonerees that I've never met. And so that was just, I don't know, just kind of started the ball rolling.
It's amazing. That's I guess I said last night after the introduction of all the exonerees is, I couldn't even think of another word, but it's awesome. It's just the fact that, the work that we do in our little project is phenomenal, but to see how many other projects and how many other groups are doing just as good work, and actually get to see it. You hear about it, you read about it, there's all these people and there's all these people working for this cause, but then to actually be in a room with all of these people, it's just, I don't even know how to even describe that. It was amazing.
This is the 4th conference I've been to, and I always love going because I think the most powerful thing is meeting the exonerees and realizing that what you're doing matters to these people. So,
talking to them, it's interesting because you want to get their perspective, and whenever you say, you're a hope for us, and they're like, well, no, you were the hope for us. So it's a nice back and forth that, we really feel that, they're helping us with something that it's important to us, and we're also helping them. So it's nice back and forth, but I think it's also great because there's a lot of families here and a lot of friends, and they went through just as much. They went through a lot too, and so that they still were supporting them no matter what, that's great to see too. It just adds another dynamic.
Here at the network conference, it's unbelievable to hear, how so many people went through the same thing that you went through, and then when you network and talk to different people, Texas, New York, California, all these different states, and then to hear how many people going through the same thing or went through the same thing that you went through, it's like when you all talk, it's like y'all in your own world, because they understand, because they went through the same thing you went through. But then on the flip side, it's like a lot of people on the outside don't understand how the lawyers, the journalists, the students all go through the same thing, because once you take an interest in somebody's case, you get close to that person and you fighting for that person. So it's like you involved in that too. Okay, I may be free, but here's a person I know that's innocent. So you put your heart and your effort and your hard work and hours of studying, hours of whether it's journalist, whether it's lawyer, and no matter what it is, whatever piece or part you have to play with the program, it's a lot of work regardless. And so you get accustomed and you get involved with that person's case. So it's like dominoes. You set dominoes up and push it, and that's how it is, like a domino effect, because everybody played a part.
Great to see some of the guys that was in prison with you, return home. And in prison, I heard a lot of guys say, man, they got me in for nothing, Jonathan, all those guys, I seen all of them come in as babies, as young men, little boys grew up into men. But the conference is great because it gives you a chance to see people like yourself, look different, from different walks of life. I know a young lady from Ohio who was a nurse, 25 years in prison, and me and her became some best of friends because of our communication, and the young ladies from New York, the two was wrongfully convicted. Yeah, it's something to deal with. It's really hard when you get the chance to talk to people and help them out. Like me and her, we on the phone like 3 times a week now. She wants to move to Chicago to work with Life After Justice, and we look forward to it, you know, and we're building a base right here to help change the profile of these arrests and these institutions, so guys can actually have an opportunity to prove that, you know, prove that they've been done wrong. And the Innocent Project, oh, it's the best thing that ever happened. Even though when I wrote them, they didn't answer me back, but I'm working with them now to make sure that never happens again, you know. So I'm a part of the team, and they welcome me with open arms, and I love it, you know. I love it. The Exoneree Band, the group of guys have been exonerated. I mean, it's great, you know, and we play music, you know. What I like about it is it's a melting pot, you know. We got guys from everywhere, you know, and you doing what you're doing because you love it, you know, and we have such a bond of friendship, you know. I like to say a kinship, because all of us became like brothers, you know, and Bill, Ray, you know, Alan, you know, just all the guys, we become a family, you know. When somebody gets married or somebody gets sick, so we're all there. You know, I was just in Portland at Alan's wedding, you know, and his wife wanted me to sing. So that, you know, it's great to have these, you know, brothers from another mother. It's something, you know. And the band is great. We love it. We want to tour for the Innocent Project, showing them who we are today, you know, and we're not who you said we were.